Ding dong, the witch is dead. Only for his sisters to stomp on his grave and immediately take its place. While Acti Blizzard is out here slanging sequels, I want to ask the very important question: can Overwatch fight? AKA, can Overwatch be made into a successful fighting game? Just a quick refresher on what this game is. Overwatch is a class-based first-person shooter MOBA thing, released in 2016 and developed by Blizzard. A game defined by its years of fast-paced team action, jumping poor Swedish women, fans loving to hate play it,
What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this?
and a few controversies, some more serious than butts. Now, this is the 4 faux empirical based criteria I'll be using to determine if the shooter would succeed as a fighter. Pause this screen or click on the video above if you want a more detailed explanation. With all that being said, let's jump into a fight without a healer and die and then get mad at our team. Characters. Focusing on the base ones, I understand folks wasn't too happy at the redesigns for OW2 due to a lot of the characters seemingly not changing much. But the quality of the designs themselves are overall pretty solid, I think. Yes, there are some base looking designs, but I believe there's more good than mid ones.
Oh my god, they gave him my hat.
There's also a large pool of characters to choose from to make up a potentially large roster. That would be diverse to boot, too, at least according to this handy chart. Jokes aside, there is a nice bit of variety of skin tones, body types, and nationalities, and costuming, which I do appreciate. The character designs are also bright enough, striking enough, and have enough details breaking up their forms that none of them should get lost in the sauce that is meters and hit sparks. Some characters' actions could potentially be harder to discern in a 2D or third-person arena setting, but I'm not too worried. With a large diverse roster and mostly good designs, I scored Overwatch high in characters, 4 out of 5. Potential movesets. Despite all the wacky shit telling you differently, Overwatch is mainly a shooter, and while it's possible to make interesting characters with guns in fighting games, it's just as possible to make unfun, unbalanced ones. And 80% of the cast using a pew-pew of some kind makes me a touch wary. Fortunately, Overwatch have shifts, E's, and Q's, abilities and ultimates that I believe could easily be transformed into fighting game specials. Example, Tracer's Blinks can be a command dash. Also, for most of the heroes, whether through their kits or playstyles, they have a lot of impactful, dynamic actions before, during, or after shooting or healing. That translates well into a moveset. You got your weed trio, climbing, jumping, and slashing, hammer, popper, and axe mama, smashing and bashing. Easily FG transferable moves. But you also have cats like Reaper, with his big fuck you hand cannons that throws his arms back, shadow stepping to fools to blast them up close. Give him some blue and a beret, and he's basically Noel from BlazBlue, with a larger chest. And quite a few of these heroes have these cool involved animations in play that's already seen in fighting games. They just need a few adjustments to fit. Some will need more than a few adjustments and some creative liberties, looking at you, Missionary 76. But for many of the Overwatch characters, there is a clear path to making good movesets. Also a clear path to fucking it up being an FPS, but I'll think positive and give Overwatch a 3.5 out of 5. Popularity and reach. When Overwatch was first released, it was a critical darling and bursting at the seams with players, pulling in huge numbers and breaking company records. Then years started passing by, unpopular changes were made, Blizzard royally screwed up a few times, and the company and the game lost some of its luster. But despite all the BS throughout its life, it still found success, even if nowhere near its peak. The first Overwatch, as late as 2021, had a monthly average of 5 million plus players, with over 9 million active players in the month leading up to the sequel. And now that OW2 is live, Overwatch is firmly back in the public consciousness, for now. And look, the game is already going through some mess. I'm sure this will be longer by the time I post this video, and possibly after the initial interest could fall flat on its face and explode into nothing, taking Blizzard with it. But I think the game has shown it can weather storms and at least bring a lot of fans back, in spite of itself at times. I also have to mention its cultural footprint. Team Fortress did it first, but it was Overwatch that really inspired the modern character hero shooters. It wasn't on the level of COD2, but Overwatch certainly had a chokehold on content creators and YouTube space for a while, and I would be remiss to not mention the community. An extremely engaged community can mean more than a large one, and fortunately for Overwatch, it has both. Tons of forums, content creators, cosplayers, fan fiction, fan art, porn, so much porn of these characters, like tons of it. Like, do y'all remember at one point there was so much overporn that Blizzard started cracking down on NSFW art? Because when motherfuckers Google Overwatch, instead of the game, they get a video of Tracer getting her back blown out by Fuda Widowmaker? Shit was wild. And it's only gonna get wilder in OW2 because the devs in all their wisdom decided to introduce Big Dummy Mommy Ozzy, Die by Robo Thighs, and Cute Fox Ninja Girl. Why the devs decided to tempt the internet with so much material so soon? I can't tell you. I can tell you. We all know. I'm getting distracted. Anyways, Overwatch is popular and impactful enough to at least initially draw in a large fan base for any potential fighting game, I think, for both good and notorious reasons. 4.5 out of 5. Finally, fan acceptance. This one was tough to figure out. On one hand, people who mainly play hero shooters share a lot of skills with FGC diehards. Quick resource management, positioning, super fast sequential button pushing, but the use of those skills are completely different. The two genres are pretty dissimilar, and I don't see a lot of intersection of fans of these two genres online. But two things the FGC and hero shooters fans have in common. One, their love of patch notes. Ooh baby, drop a list of words and numbers about details most don't notice and watch as the FG dorks and Overwatch nerds bust all over themselves. The FGC also loves to argue about who's viable all the freaking time, which is just a meta discourse that's permanently in the OW fandom. Blizzard Overwatch fans has also shown a willingness to consume different forms of media for that sweet, sweet lore. Zenyatta animation win? So some fans of the original game could be really down for a fighter, but I just think a larger portion of the fan base would be against or mum to the idea and have to be thoroughly persuaded. 3 out of 5, but it could be argued to be lower. Now let's calculate the scores, and yeah, an Overwatch fighter would do well, I think. The brand recognition and solid designs and gameplay will attract many players and maybe even build its own fan base separate from the original game, if fans of the shooter don't latch on. I'm thinking it could be a tag-based fighter with a simple button layout. Light, heavy, special 1, special 2, and a lot of the crazy shit will be in the cooperative elements of the fighting game, kind of like the original game, but I'm just spitballing. I hope this answers the question you maybe had, that yes, Overwatch can fight. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, drop a like, subscribe, share with your friends. And if you want to see if any other game, movie, book, whatever, can fight, drop your suggestions in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and have a good one.
Chill. Boom, 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 chill. Boom, boom, chill.